What are the pros in your eyes of open relationship?
One really good one that I get to experience by being in an open relationship is Hey, welcome to Moonai Open Relationship, the podcast. Hi, my name is Gwen and I'm an open relationship coach.
And I am Mr. T, her partner in crime.
We're here to share an awesome journey with open relationship and non-monogamy.
Disclaimer: we are not here to tell you what to do, what is right or wrong in your relationship. We are here to give you ideas and tips based on our own experience.
And while doing so, we may discuss things that are not suitable for a younger audience.
Welcome back to Moonai Open Relationship, podcast number 3.
Yes!
Yeah, we're moving forward. That's awesome. Welcome back.
Hi, yeah, we're super excited to actually keep going with these episodes. We are not only having a good amount of listeners, but we're also receiving some really cute messages from you guys by DM on Instagram, which is super nice to hear, right? Because it's like you said, it's nice to feel like we are giving back to the community, and yeah, it's super lovely.
We're giving you back. If that makes something. Cool. So today we're gonna bring a subject, and then later on we're gonna have the 2 sections. We're gonna answer questions. We're gonna tell you a little bit about our story. Today is gonna be a little bit more spicy. I think a part of the story is the beginning, and it's getting and I'm not doing Chewbacca yet.
Was that a dog? What was that? Was it a pigeon?
That's a pigeon. Mine is like a cat. It's a French cat.
Is that supposed to be a hot, sexy French cat?
Yes.
Alright, so let's jump straight into it.
So today we're going to talk about the pros of open relationship. We have here in other podcasts and other comments talking about that, how hard or how much work you have to do to maintain an open relationship. And I think there are some aspects of open relationship that yes, need work. However, I would say is like any other relationship. You need to work on your relationship all the time. I hear some people talking about communication. We talk about communication as well. And I think like any relationship is if you work on your communication skills, no matter what type of relationship you are in, you will succeed, and it's an exercise that you need to do all the time. And the more you talk, the more you communicate, the better. So when, for you, in your case, talking like this, I'm gonna put voices to make my English be more understandable. I think I speak better English when I speak like this. That's what I think. Anyway, what are the pros in your eyes of open relationship?
I think one really good one that I get to experience by being in an open relationship is having the opportunity to experience new relationship energy all the time, every time I want.
You feel the force straight away.
you feel the honeymoon period kind of thing, right? So that's what we
feel the lightsaber.
We're Star Wars today.
Yeah.
Doing Chewbacca
Yeah.
and the Force.
We're gonna go to the dark side as well. Anyway.
Oh my God. So new relationship energy.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean with that?
So what I mean by that is the first kiss, the magical first kiss that you have with someone, right? And then the next potentially 6 months that you have following that first encounter, that first kiss. It's all really beautiful. You've got so much hormones going into your body and you feel all excited about the person. Everything is mysterious and new and it's awesome. But the thing is, when you get into a long-term monogamous relationship, obviously this changes and other things come in that are really positive too. But this special energy that you had at the beginning and that magical first kiss won't happen again. You can't just create it again. But when you're in an open relationship, you actually get to live that over and over again every time you meet someone new. And at the same time, you're still keeping this relationship with your partner that you have for long term and it's really cool. I love that.
My question about that is, and it's something that other people have expressed on Instagram and TikTok, and it's the fear of, because that moment is kind of special, when you connect for the first time with someone. If that make you, I don't know, connect emotionally with that person, and you were talking about 6 months or something like that, I don't think, and this is for the audience out there, we haven't had relationship. We don't consider ourselves part of the polyamorous group or lifestyle. For the sake that we don't keep relationships we keep relationships as friends with some of them, but we don't sustain an emotional connection with other people. We are not against it. We don't say that we would not feel it, but I don't think we have. I think you have more connections with people.
I think you do.
I mean, I keep connection with more.
You have more friends with benefits than I have.
Maybe.
I think so.
Okay. Going back to my question, what is the consequences of that first kiss and those kind of things? Does it develop on you any feelings, or what is it?
I think if you understand that what it is, if you understand that this is not love, it's it doesn't have to be more than what it is, and just experiencing. And I don't know, I'm pretty rational and logical with that. I enjoy it at the time, and it's also because I really like novelty. So I understand what it is. I understand what's happening in my body and in my brain in terms of, like I was saying, all those hormones that are being just released when you meet someone for the first time. But to be honest, the few times where I went back with the same person for a second time, the novelty effect is kind of gone for me, and I rarely experience again that new relationship energy. So that's my experience with things. What about you?
In my case, I love the novelty of the first kiss and all the stuff that you were talking about as well. But I think what I found amazing about open relationship is with your partner you can create a path and you develop that, like you said, that relationship in a certain way with certain habits, and starting meeting other people brings new elements to that relationship that makes our relationship grows even stronger. This has been our experience so far that have spiced up a lot or sexual life, or conversation. It's a lot of stuff that we learn being with other people, and we can bring it to our relationship in a way that is kind of, I don't know, cool and
constructive,
awesome.
Yeah, and awesome. So it's time now for a little bit story time.
Wow.
Once upon a time, in a country far, far away. Hashtag New Zealand.
Okay, so we left the story last time, where I went back to France, Mr. T went back to his country, and he had a little story with someone. Spent the night with a girl, and it was great, and he was really excited to tell me, and he told me about the story. And as much as I knew it was going to happen, I remember telling you guys it was a little bit of a shock the first time. And then I kind of got used because he actually had 2 more stories to tell with 2 other different ladies, I think, in the following weeks. Mr. T stayed for like a month or so in his country, so he got the opportunity to have some fun there. I went back to New Zealand and something happened to me on the way back. I met someone in the plane, and it was a long 2 different flights actually, so I think it was just universe sending me that person potentially. I was flying 3 flights: Paris to Zurich to Houston to New Zealand, and I ended up being in the plane every time with this guy, and we ended up being seated next to each other in the last flight, last leg of the trip, and we started chatting at the airport, and we decided to see each other again. And we went for a drink. This guy told me that actually he had a girlfriend and offered me to have a first experience with a couple.
Chun chun. Chun chun. Chun chun. Threesome.
So yeah, I remember sending a message to Mr. T and telling him what was happening. I was really excited and at the same time a little curious and shy, like a little bit of I don't know if shy is something we can use for me to describe my personality. I remember feeling really like, ooh, that may be happening, but ooh, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And Mr. T was awesome. He kind of told me like, well, how do you feel about it? Like he was fully supportive with that, so I jumped in. And we actually spent with this couple the whole weekend together. Mm-hmm. And then we got to Skype Mr. T, who was still in this country. And so I would love to hear Mr. T's feelings about all of that. How did you feel about me experiencing such a big, strong fantasy that I had, and you were not part of it, right? How did you feel about this?
An experience was. The whole story was kind of, guys, I have to say this. When she told me how she met the guy, the line that the guy used to pick her up, like to make her feel like she was going to have this and all that, it felt like a movie. It was like a movie. So she kind of, what I remember, she kind of talked with him, and then he said to her that he promised his partner that he would bring something from France. Like he would bring a present from France and blink to her. And she kind of liked the idea, and they drove you back home. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he met the girl, the boy, everything, and it was like kind of like a scene and a those romantic erotic movies that you see.
Romantic erotic.
Yeah, I don't know how do you call them. Kind of.
It's not a rom-com. It's a Romero. It's a new style.
Rom arrow. There you go. Rom arrow. So yeah, I was super happy to hear that you were going to have the experience. I was super envious that I was not going to be there, but at the same time, I was glad that you were doing it by yourself. Like a couple of other experiences that you had beforehand, like when you had your first experience with a girl and things like that. I was super happy to see you blossoming in your own self, in your own sexuality. Like a flower. And it was awesome to hear you like that. And at the same time, when you were telling me about the stories and things, when this happened, I was like, oh, motherfucker, I so want to be there. Sorry, I shouldn't say that.
Shouldn't say what? Threesome or?
Motherfucker.
I think we've passed that point.
Yeah, I think we passed that point. Anyway, we might put a beep.
Yes.
Yeah. Beep. I think one of the beautiful things that I have with you, it was all the time, you were surprising me all the time. You were going beyond expectations and what we were building. So every time I was feeling more in love with you. I was so in love with you. So good.
Oh yeah, because I don't know if I told this part of the story, but Mr. T got a little bit drunk on New Year's Eve.
Whoa.
And he sent me a text at midnight, and he ended the message with "love you," and that was the first "I love you" that I got from him. So it was like a week before what happened with me with those guys. So it's like so much love. Pigeon is back.
Pigeon. Erotic French cat.
Erotic French cat.
There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a great experience, and after that we started chatting about having threesomes together and adding one more person or having more people, and we made another choice, but I think that's going to be for the next.
I have one question in what you said, because I think it's pretty good for people who are listening and or maybe in that situation to hear about that. You said you were envious of what I was experiencing.
Yeah.
Were you jealous? Because there is a difference between envy and jealousy, and I think a lot of people sometimes think they are jealous when actually they are just envious. And the difference between the two is you are envious because you would like that same situation to happen to you, which is different from feeling jealousy, where jealousy is usually linked to an insecurity. So did you ever feel jealous in that situation, or was it just that you wished that you were there in that situation?
No, I was mostly wanting to be there. I was super excited that you were living those things, and I was like, I so want to have that experience. I want to go back in the plane and pick up a girl, and she has a friend, a flatmate that she's gonna bring to the party or something like that. I don't know. It was more that feeling, and like I said before, I was super happy that was happening to you as well. You know, jealousy, no. It was super exciting, and hearing the story was super exciting as well.
Okay, that's gonna be the last point for the story today, is because Mr. T was having some experiences and he was quite far away, because this country is quite far away from New Zealand, and
We haven't said my country yet.
And then I was obviously in France and then back in New Zealand. We started sending each other a little recap what happened with our different partners, sending little sex stories of what happened, and kind of like that's something that we started doing at the time, and it's just become something that we like to do every time we have something with someone else. We kind of tell each other what happened, and I think it's kind of like helping us to feel like we're part of it too. I always get excited about the idea that I'm going to be telling him the story of what happened to me.
I see.
So, anyway, should we close this so we can tell you what happened next? Because we went for the first time to a sex club. And Mr. T came back a few week later.
A couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. Okay, but that will be for next week.
Yeah.
And we are gonna jump into
The questions.
ask for it. You
Ask for it. You ask for it.
You ask for it.
You hear it, you type it, you send it, you ask for it, you'll hear it, you type it, you send it, you ask for it.
So, you guys have sent us some messages on Instagram and TikTok, and we're gonna answer. We have 3 questions. We have one question that we didn't answer last week.
Yes, we're gonna start with that one.
We're gonna start with that one. And the first question was...
The first question was, Mr. T.
Oh, shit.
Mr. T, how do you deal with the partners of your partner? Do you talk to them? Do you want to talk to them? Do you want to avoid talking to them? Do you become friends with them? Do you feel like, if you feel like your partner is starting to spend too much time with her lovers, do you talk to them? What's happening? What's the relationship with them?
I met that guy from your threesome.
Yeah, that didn't go really well.
No, it didn't go well. Not because of me.
Not because of you.
The things I need to tell you guys. Gwen has a magic touch. So most of the guys that sleep with her, they fall in love with her. In general, okay, going back to your question. In general, what I try to do is if I get to know the person that is with you.
Get to meet the person.
To meet them. And what I try to do with them is to make them feel comfortable, make them feel there is no tension, no upsetness. There's nothing that, for me, that make me feel uncomfortable with them. If we happen to be in the same room, I have had talks with some of them and let them know.
Seems fine.
Chill out, chill out. It's all good. I know how things work, so relax. And that always makes people feel a lot more, more relaxed, and we can talk. And as that thing is happening, making the things not be connected, to not make them feel like, I don't try to put
your flag on the moon.
Yeah. I don't try to show my flag. This is mine.
This is me walking on the moon. When you felt, before we changed, when you felt have you felt at some point that a guy was not treating me well? And did you feel like you wanted to talk to him?
No, I don't want to talk to them because the same. I'm not. I think you are able to say what you need to say. What happened once? The things that you were telling me about this person, it was not giving me the feeling that he was a good person for you. And I could see that you were kind of not falling in love, but you were kind of starting to feel things for him. The only thing that I did in that case was try to warn you and let you know that I could see what was happening, and I could see that it would be trouble afterwards. And no longer after, he gave me the right and show his own truth self, and it was shit.
Okay. All right. So I think there's a little bit different guys and girls in this configuration. Because I think guys are kind of aware that if I am with Mr. T and I'm having casual sex with them, they're pretty cool with the idea, cool, that was casual sex. When it comes to girls, there are some ladies that potentially feel like they could make Mr. T fall in love with them.
Okay.
So they don't really want to look at me. They don't really want to. They kind of have like a little bitchy attitude sometimes. But most of them are really nice. For quite a while, I was trying to meet them. I wanted to meet them because I wanted to understand what was attracting. I was dealing with some jealousy, definitely. Little insecurities. Why is he attracted to them? I don't understand why, because they don't really look like the type of girl that I thought he would be attracted to. And so I had some, I had so many questions and I wanted to meet them. And I've actually become really good friends with some of them. And the problem is that once we became friends, those girls were like, I don't want to go with Mr. T anymore because, we're really good friends, the two of us. So I've decided to not do that anymore. Unless they really want to meet me and have a chat or whatever, I don't try to meet them. Yeah, definitely. You do have some friends with benefits where we get along really well, but they have that relationship with you. I think it's important to realize, because that's a question from my followers, so I would like to give them some advice too. I think it's important to understand that the relationship that your partner has with other partners is something that is between them. It doesn't have to be about you and those people. So I remember that the follower that was sending me that question, he's married and his wife was having another lover, and he felt like the lover was spending a lot of time with his wife, and he was wondering if he needed to have a chat with that lover. And I don't think so, because I think express your concerns to your wife, just like Mr. T did with me, and your wife is old enough, adult enough to be responsible for her own emotions and actions. Yeah. So if she wants to take it further, awesome, and you may have to respect that. Check what was the agreement in your relationship when you decided to open the relationship. But I don't think that you should be going and talking to the other person, unless obviously there is something really, really wrong that is happening. Yeah. In that case, yes. But I don't think you should be trying actively to connect with the other person.
Yeah, no, and it's important, like you said, when you connect with another person, this is something that I hear the other day, someone saying, it's like, you don't connect, and the open relationship world is, you're not connecting with someone else as the partner of. I'm not hooking up with a girl being the boyfriend of Gwenaëlle, and vice versa. So you are connecting with that person as yourself, and you need to learn to differentiate the two worlds clearly. Because if you do that, it will be very confusing, and it will be hard. Like, it's like having a date and you talk about your partner. You're not gonna create the environment that you need to make that date go in the right direction. So you need to be able to have your own space and be talking to that person individually, and be able to deal whatever happened with that person individually. So the more you respect that, the things can go. And in this case, for example, like you said, if she's spending more time with this person, and she might be falling in love. So you might change the category of where you are in your relationship. You might pass to be a polyamorous, and it's all good. It's good that can happen, but it's something that you need to talk with your partner and sort out with your partner first.
Yeah. Should we jump into the next question?
Yeah.
So the next question was someone asking me, what is the difference between swinging and open relationship? Mr. T, would you like to start? Or
No, you go. You are the expert in the field.
The expert in the field. So swinging and open relationship is just two different labels, and swinging is a category within open relationship. Right? The open relationship definition is both partners, or one partner is having a sexual relationship with someone else than their primary partner. So swinging definitely falls in that. What it is with swinging is that the couple is having a sexual experience with another couple. So we are two couples involved in there. I would say that potentially happens that swinging is a step when couples are opening and not feeling extremely sure about having their partner having sex with someone else, and they kind of want to be there and see how that goes. It's a different lifestyle, I think. It's quite fun. It's fun to do. It's keeping both parts entertained. It's like a cool date night idea. But Mr. T, is there different ways of experiencing swinging?
Clarifying, I'm not expert on the field. But however, I have some knowledge about it.
Oh.
I think swinging, like Wen says, is different stages of swinging. So you can have what is called soft swinging, where you can meet with another couple, but it's not exchange of couples. There might be action between the female partner, the female parties. They might have something with each other, but the male parties would not interact with the other ones, would not swap.
So if we have couple A and couple B,
The two
Mr. B won't go with
Miss A.
Miss A, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And vice versa.
So Miss A and Miss B may be having some action.
They can
fun.
have some action. Sometimes not even. Sometimes it's you just share the space and you share the room, and you look at someone else having sex next to you, and you see the experience, and it's looking and sharing, and sometimes it's a little bit of touching, but it's not more than that. Mm-hmm. And then you have full swap, where you have the two couples interacting with each other in the same room. Some couples in the swinging world do not swap if the two members of the couple are not in the same room.
Oh, cool.
So this is a rule into the swinging world that you can have, and it's this part of the conversation when you met with another couple. If you guys are okay to swap, maybe one being in one room and the other one in another one, but some people don't like that. They want to see the partner next to them and be close to each other.
Just like anything new, and usually non-monogamy is quite new, just talk about what could happen and where you could feel potentially upset or anything. If something happens that you haven't thought about, just talk about it later. Don't pretend that everything is fine. It's just sometimes you may need a little bit of space and time to understand what happened to you and why you felt upset about it. But I think the most important part is telling your partner how you felt and why you felt like that, and see if it's something you want to do again, or how you can avoid being upset or anything like that, right? So it's always about communicating afterwards. Yeah.
Another area into the swinging world is when, for example, the female side of the relationship likes to have experience with other females, but not with other males.
True.
And the guy or the male side wants to watch or can watch the situation. So that's another type of soft swapping.
Yep.
And vice versa as well. There are some women as well that like to watch their partners having sex with someone else,
Yep.
but they don't want to participate. So, like you said, it's all this is a conversation before you do anything that you can have. Obviously, like you said, when you're starting to do this having these experiences is something that it's a lot of stuff that you don't think, that you don't think that are possible, that you don't think that can happen, and you might go to a club like we did, or connect with another couple or something like that, and you're gonna find a lot of stuff that might come up during the night. Kissing. Some people find kissing that very private. They can have oral sex with other people, but they
Pretty
can't
woman.
kiss. Yeah. But kissing is something that is very private. So those kind of things is elements that you can talk about. What are the limits of with your partner? What is that you don't want to see your partner doing or experiencing or
It is quite common when you start going into this lifestyle that when you meet another couple, you kind of ask if they have any rules. Something that is good to do, just so you make sure that everybody's gonna feel comfortable during the night. Because at the end of the night, that's what you want. You want to have some good time. So it's not about putting someone in a really bad space or anything like that. So yeah. First rule is, do you guys have rules? And if you know that it's not allowed for them to kiss someone else than their primary partner.
Okay, guys, I hope so you enjoy this podcast. This was podcast number 3. It was really good. Thank you very much for being there. I hope so you guys enjoying. If you have more questions, you can refer to Munai Open Relationships, Instagram and TikTok. You can go to Munai Open Relationship, the website as well, .com. Yes. You have in that website, you have a lot of information that we all have put together for you guys if you're planning to open your relationship. When it's an amazing coach, she has clients from all over the world and she is able to help you. So if you need some help opening your relationship or coaching a little bit and the depending on the stage that you're in your relationship, and she will be amazing for you to help you.
Baby.
You're welcome. And you have as well a book that you can buy there that is called
Dealing with Jealousy.
Dealing with Jealousy, and that is going to help you in the early stages, especially when you are dealing with jealousy, and you have exercises and things that will help you to cope and understand where your jealousy is coming from. So we will see you next week with another episode. And if you guys have ideas or things that you want to hear or anything, we are an open book. May the force be with you.
And this, my friends, is the end of the episode. But don't worry, we will be back with the next one really soon. Ciao, ciao!